everybody. Welcome to Geekoholics Anonymous, episode 171. I'm your host, Rico, here with my co-host,
Dane PAXtravaganza Cody.
We are recording live from PAX in Seattle, PAX West 2018.
We are literally in our hotel room right now, bringing you guys the hottest of the hot takes.
The hottest of the hot takes.
Only the hot takes.
So
none of the cool takes, just the hot ones.
Day 2 has wrapped. This is going to be a little different than our regular episodes. We're not going to go into news and stuff, though. News has been breaking around the show and, of course, the gaming industry. We'll save that for when we get back home and record a regular podcast during the week again. But this is a bonus episode, 171 PAXtravaganza, and it's basically going to be a what you've been playing.
AKA what we've been seeing and what we've been playing and giving you the lowdown on what's happening at PAX West.
And what we've been doing.
Not drinking too much.
Oh my god. We'll get to that.
All right.
So, should we do BS now or just...
Let's just do BS now.
All right. So, first night we got here... we had a Square Enix meeting, and we saw Just Cause 4 and Life is Strange 2 as a warm-up to the whole show. Mm-hmm. But last night, we had a couple different events to go to. Lenovo Legion was having an event, but it was quite far away, so we kind of... We're like humming and hawing about going to it because last year it was pretty good. Dane went to it.
Yeah, it was cool. It was a good time.
And we had an Acer Predator countdown to Gamer Days party thing.
They're showing off their brand new
hardware
and for their fall lineup, more or less. With all their 8th gen processors. We saw the big, ridiculous water-cooled double SLI laptop.
It was humongous. You can kill a person with it.
If I dropped it on your foot, it would probably break your foot.
So that was walking distance, and we kind of were like, well, we go there, and if it sucks, we go to the other one. But we were luckily, because of the PAX media list, we were VIPs. You can debate that. That's up for debate.
Hey, you can debate it all you want, but I'm a VIP, all right?
But that got us in early, which was kind of cool. And they had basically open bar all night for VIPs.
And Rick took that to mean I'm going to drink until I can't drink no more. And I'm a party like it's 1999.
Yeah. It was good, bad. It was pretty hilarious. Actually, the best part of the event was they were doing an esports tournament. But letting everyone, it wasn't just, hey, look at all these esports freaking nerds play up on the stage that you may or may not care about. It was actually just everyone at the party was getting the chance to feel like an esports pro. And we were up on stage playing Rocket League. And
we were not playing Rocket League.
Oh, yeah.
We were dominating Rocket League. We fucking destroyed that other team. We destroyed the other team. Come on.
I got the opening goal. And
you did.
We made friends. Actually, one of the guys on our team was really cool. Him and his buddies were all down there.
So we made some new friends.
Yeah, we made some new friends. It was awesome being up on the stage in a room packed with people and the announcer announcing the game.
You felt like a rock star. It was pretty dope.
It was kind of cool.
Yeah, we got to pretend to be esports stars for a night.
Yeah, so
this was fun. But we both drank a little too much. Today was a little rough.
Yeah, a little rough.
Feeling all right. That's why we didn't do this last night, which we were planning on.
We were going,
but we didn't for obvious reasons.
That's why we're Geekoholics.
Yeah, exactly. So today we're giving you the hot takes from the first couple of days.
It was a blast though, because I didn't care because I had the VIP thing on and it was unlimited drinks, and for everyone else it wasn't. So I was literally going to every bar two-fisting, I'd say buy, but I wasn't buying drinks. I was getting free drinks for all our new friends and just random people standing around. They had these cool cups that had lighted LED bases, which unfortunately I lost mine. I didn't really lose mine, but they fell in the toilet. But so I just left them there. They were gone. But
they're as good as being lost.
There was these plastic cups that had the lit up LED bases that like flashed or glowed solidly. And as we drank, we just kept stacking them up, kind of like a Wisest Wizard.
Yeah.
But with these cups, and it looked really cool because they were glowing. And I had like 7 or 8 cups stacked up by the end of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this is how we don't get invited back to other parties.
That's a lie. We have 2 parties to go to tomorrow. We're just going to recover today.
So anyways.
That's totally off topic. It was a blast, though.
It was a blast. It was good times.
So yeah, the first thing we saw was basically Just Cause 4. They had a demo.
It was gameplay being played live. We were not able to play, but the lead QA tester was there playing it for us, and they were kind of giving us the rundown.
Yeah, they had one of the game
on like the whole island. You're on. It's another island. You're fighting a private army. They were going into, there's 4 biomes, so there's a desert, there's mountains, there's rainforest, and kind of like the hills, grasslands, and then there's obviously the transitional areas in between all of those, and they were just kind of showing us like how much of a ridiculous playground it is.
With the new vehicles, the weather effects.
Yeah, how wind is actually like a thing that's persistent throughout the whole game.
Your grapple tool and all the new stuff you can do with attaching balloons to vehicles or people or items.
They made a flying tank and we flew across the battlefield and shot some stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. They put a bunch of balloons on a tank, some boosters on the back of it, and we're literally flying the tank around the front. There's like a front line where you're battling the militia around the island, and basically, they were flying the tank around.
It was pretty awesome.
It looks really cool. There's a lot of detail. It seems like a lot prettier than some of the other Just Causes.
I think that's going to be a game that people are going to start latching onto from a streaming perspective, just because of all the ridiculousness you can do. Oh my gosh, I think it's going to be insane.
Yeah, December.
Yeah, so that's coming in December.
And it really, to be honest, it wasn't on my radar. I know people love Just Cause because of all the crazy stuff you can do. And I was just like, Just Cause 4, whatever. I never played the other ones. And then it's like, after that demo, I'm like, actually, this looks pretty freaking fun.
And I've played 2 and 3. They're both great. 3 was a little rough on PS4, which is the platform that I ended up having it on. Just the frame rate and stuff wasn't awesome. But both 2 and 3 were awesome games. So much fun. I think that those guys have probably done the playground stuff better than almost anybody has. Like, it's just, they pretty much, it's almost like the devs have come up with a way to figure out how you can mess around with things, and it's kind of like what they're just doing.
And just get ridiculous.
Yeah. They're just like, hey, you wanna get crazy and ridiculous and do all this stuff? Then here you go. Here's all the tools. Here's a wind cannon that you can use to just break stuff and blow stuff up, and oh yeah, it's awesome. So that looks cool. We did not, like I said, we didn't get hands-on of that ourselves.
But they were playing it in front of us. It
was live. Some stuff didn't go quite right.
It didn't crash or anything?
No. I just meant, like, from the QA guy. He trying to set a couple things up that went a little sideways, which was great, because it just shows how ridiculous that game is. And then we both played Life is Strange 2. They had like a demo of the first bit of the game.
The voice actor, director, and one of the main writers.
Yeah, they were there. We were able to chat with both of them. Did you play the first game, Life is Strange?
No, I didn't.
I didn't either.
I have it somewhere. I feel like it was part of PlayStation Plus or Games of Gold, so I know I have it somewhere.
Right.
I feel like that is right, but I could be wrong. Or maybe I got it through Humble Bundle. I can't remember. But I never played it.
Honestly, this kind of makes me want to go back and play that.
Yeah, it does.
Like the characters and stuff. Like I won't drop any spoilers here or anything, but I can honestly say, like, there was in that demo, like, kind of close to where it ended, there's a pretty hard-hitting moment there where I'm not gonna lie, I kind of got a little choked up. And just seeing kind of how that all goes was like, oh man. For anybody who doesn't know, Life is Strange and Life is Strange 2, they're kind of adventure games. They're not really point and click adventures so much, but they're also not quite a,
it's third person.
Yeah, it's like a third person. You pick stuff up and make choices and have conversations with people and stuff.
Yeah, conversation trees.
And obviously depending on
multiple paths.
Yeah, exactly. Depending on what you do kind of affects the outcome to some extent. No, really good.
I thought it looked really nice. I like the style it has.
The world felt alive.
And it was super smooth.
Yeah.
The whole time I was playing it, I was like, man, I could imagine Telltale Games using a nice engine like this.
Oh, I know. Could you imagine? Oh.
And they were saying the engine was like custom.
Yeah.
I think for this even more so than the first game. They've done a lot more stuff. And they're really like stressing how all it's about like these vistas and the combination of the vistas and the moments that make it special. Because it is essentially like a drama, right? Like a story.
Yeah.
Between brothers and family and,
No, it was
their relationships, right?
Yeah, no, and it hits hard. It's deep. I was really surprised.
It comes out in a couple weeks. I can't remember exactly.
Episode 1. I believe there's 5 episodes they've said.
Yeah.
So I believe episode 1 of 5 is coming out soon.
September 27th.
Yeah. So
I don't know what their release schedule was like with the old ones. If it was every couple weeks, every month, or what.
I'm not sure. I know that it was episodic. I'm not sure if at the end they released it all, or did they release Life is Strange as like a made chunk and then add a DLC which expanded on it?
No, it was episodes too. The first one was all episodes, but I didn't play it, so I don't.
Yeah,
I don't remember how they.
I'd heard really good things. But
people love it.
So that was kind of that night. That was our first night here. That was Thursday night. We both got to see those. Friday morning, we were supposed to have a media hour. Unfortunately, they let us in 20 minutes late, and then they actually let the public in 10 minutes early. So we essentially got a media half hour this year, which was a little bit of a bummer. It kind of cut down on some of the bigger things that I think we would have liked to have seen that we weren't able to get appointments for. But I don't think it really cut down too much at the end of the day.
No, it was just annoying.
Yeah.
We could have maybe got over to Ubisoft or something else if it wasn't for that. But
yeah. So I dove into Devil May Cry 5.
I played it as well.
Because I was a big fan of the original 4 games. 2 was terrible, but the rest of those games were great. 1, 3, and 4 were all really solid games. I enjoyed them a lot. It feels a lot like the older ones, but not quite. It's more fluid. You don't have those static backgrounds which you're running through like the originals, but it feels a lot more like that than the Team Ninja game did from a few years ago.
DMC?
Yeah.
I never played that.
I own that on like 2 platforms. I keep looking at it because I heard that it's amazing, but I don't know why I haven't played it. Probably because it's on a giant list in my backlog and I just haven't done that.
Yeah. I was kind of annoyed because my headset didn't work, so I had no sound.
That sucks.
It was really annoying.
Because the audio was very classic Devil May Cry.
It was in the Xbox booth.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know, the headset just didn't work. I was looking for volumes and mutes and stuff, and I was like, nope, nothing. It's just, I get no audio. It played well. And it looked nice. The graphics look awesome.
It was quite pretty. It's ridiculous and crazy and big, and it's, I don't know if it was Dante. I don't believe they said.
They've said that he's in it.
Right.
What's his name?
Nero?
Nero, yeah, that sounds right.
Okay.
And Dante is in it. The demo we played was with Nero.
Right. So he kind of has like a shotgun instead of the like the ebony and ivory, which are the 2 guns from Devil May Cry, or that Dante uses. Very outlandish, big, kind of feels Bayonetta-esque if you've played some Bayonetta. looking forward to that. I think it's going to be really fun.
I had issues because of no audio. I don't know if there was like tutorial stuff in there, but
not really.
I was having, I don't know, because I was so put off by the no sound. I was kind of having issues figuring out what do they call it? The breaker. What do they call it? The devil breaker? What is it called?
Yeah, the devil. Yeah, that's right. Devil breaker.
Your, like, his robotic arm. Like, it enabled different, like, attacks or combos. And then when you would use it, depending on how you did it, you would destroy the devil breaker.
Right.
And then you would have, like, a grapple hook, so you can, like, grapple two enemies or pull them to you, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, I liked that a lot, actually. It allowed you to, like, kind of adjust the flow of the battle how you wanted. You pull an enemy close, attack, push away, dive off them. I will say, I think obviously, like, we were checking out a fairly early build of that game. Or, sorry, I should say we're early on in the, like, story of that game, so I don't think there was a lot of, like, the combos and stuff that were unlocked yet. Mm-hmm. That was one thing I did feel like I was having... It just didn't feel as fluid to chain combos together or chain attacks together, but I have a funny feeling it's because that's stuff that you unlock as you go along, and... Because that's at least that's the way it was with all the other...
And Nero's going to control different... Like, he's going to be, like, a totally different playstyle than Dante, right?
Yeah, so... But that played really good. I was really excited about that. It's as ridiculous and as fluid as I would have hoped that game would be. So
it's definitely the best looking Devil May Cry.
Yeah, it's so pretty. Although both of us didn't play DMC, so
that's true. But this is you can definitely tell this is like a current gen developed Devil May Cry, whereas the last one may have been a straddling the gens. So
yeah, that's true. That's true.
So March 8th is when that's coming out, 2019.
Awesome.
Then we ran over to Nintendo.
Yep.
We played some Smash, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
That's very much a Super Smash Bros. Game.
We didn't play together because Dane disappeared.
Yep.
But we...
I was like, I don't want to play
We played a couple rounds.
This guy's a jerk.
I played against some randoms.
You killed them, right?
No.
What? They destroyed you?
No, I didn't get destroyed, but I definitely didn't win. I don't know, I swear one of them was like a Smash Pro. He was, like, pretty excited to play. And it's like, I played this already, but I had to play it again, right? Mm-hmm. We get some cool pins. Like,
yeah, get some swag for playing some Super Smash Brothers. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty, obviously, like, you know, on the Switch, it looks better. I don't know. I mean, I feel like in a lot of ways the Smash Brothers games just feel like Smash Brothers, and they've added characters and added levels, but I don't know. They still just feel like Smash Brothers to me. It doesn't feel that different compared to the original on 64. To be honest, I know that they have iterated, and I know a lot of people will like freak out about that. Yeah, but personally, I think they still kind of like, I don't know. It's a bit of a known quantity. How's that? Like, if you don't like Smash Brothers, this is not going to change your mind at all.
No. But it's still like, I don't know. It's a big improvement. But it's a Smash game, so.
Yeah.
And you don't play Smash games, so.
Not really.
I'm excited because I just love all the characters and stuff, and all the bonuses and the music, and it's pretty fun because we used to get together at my house and play it, right?
See, and that's... If I was still doing that, I'd probably be more excited about it. But like, I don't, when was the last time I had somebody come over and play video games?
And you don't, it's like, and you don't want to play Smash online because you just get wrecked.
Yeah, and I mean, if I played Smash with my wife, it would last about 20 minutes, and then she would throw a controller at me, and that would be the end of it.
She would beat you. After that, we played some Super Mario Party.
Well, we played some mini games in a Super Mario Party game.
Yeah, that's a mode. I don't know whatever mode that was. I like that mode.
Yeah, it was fun. It was just like 5...
Just playing mini games seems funner than their rigged board game. Yeah, there was a small collection of mini games. It was fun. I don't know. It wasn't overly long, but it seemed to use we were just using one Joy-Con each. Wow. Shut up, laptop.
Come on, Rick. We're recording a podcast. You can watch that stuff after the podcast when you're alone.
No, I was looking at Smash Brothers stuff. I was Super Mario Party.
I was gonna say we're on to Super Mario Party now.
I was just checking the name. I was trying to see when it was coming out, but then some stupid YouTube video was playing.
Auto playing videos.
Yeah, they're the worst.
There's a special place in hell for the people who developed those.
October 5th is what I was looking at. But yeah, we were playing the mini game mode, like 5, was it 5 mini games?
5 mini games.
They're using the Joy-Con.
Yes, we just used one each.
Some of them use the controller or the motion controls.
Yeah, some of them use the gyroscope inside the controller. Some of them were just
straight up joystick.
Just this joystick, yeah. All of them pretty straightforward, but fun. I don't know. There was a game where we're like flipping a meat cube. Oh yeah, that one was good actually. That was hard. You had a meat cube in a frying pan, and you used the Joy-Con like you were flipping it like you would flip a pancake or something, and you had to try and brown all sides of the meat cube, the fastest. So yeah, that was an idea of some of the mini games.
Wow, this is like a really bad video on YouTube, and it has like 20-something thousand views. I could take back bad videos like this.
I don't know if you know, we're recording a podcast.
I know.
Oh, okay.
It's just a Mario Party video. I'm just looking at the games again, because they were fun. There was the one where we were rolling on the barrels.
Yep.
Which used the motion controls, like left and right and forward. It was like a barrel race. Yeah. And we had the meat flipping one, which I thought was hilarious.
That was
kind of use a Joy-Con like a frying pan handle.
Yeah, like you flip a pancake or whatever.
That was pretty cool. And then the tricycle one was fun, where you kind of rotated it like you were pedaling the tricycle.
Yeah, that was good.
They were cool.
That's
a good indication of the games that are on this in Mario Super Mario Party.
Did they say how many there was going to be?
No, not the girl there.
No, she didn't know.
I'm sure somewhere it says.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was pretty fun. I thought it was cool. I'm like, that would be it might be fun. I don't know how the board game aspect of it all works out, or if they've fixed it up or made it better. It was never bad, but sometimes that game can be infuriating because it's like you're winning and then all of a sudden some random mechanic just makes it so you lose at the end, right?
Yeah, that's a little bit of... There's always a little bit of randomness to a lot of the Nintendo type games. So, I mean, you think about Mario Kart, there's obviously, blue shells and all the various other things that kind of...
Yeah, I guess they feel like
they add...
They feel like they add these mechanics for the younger players, maybe, so they have a chance.
Yep.
And then we were cruising around. The show floor had opened, and then chaos ensued. You played the Quiet Man. I watched, and
that is I don't even know really where to begin with that. So the Quiet Man is a third-person brawler / FMV game from Square Enix, or at least it's being published by them. You play a character who is deaf, so most of the audio, this is the thing that was a little bit difficult to try and gauge while I was in the middle of the show floor with all the hustle and bustle and stuff. You would try to put the headphones on, and what they've done is they've kind of made the game similar to what it would be like to be deaf, where you don't really hear anything, but you almost feel some sounds. Like when people are walking, they've almost added the thump 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 of people walking and things like that, but ultimately you don't hear anything. So initially I wasn't sure if that was the way it was supposed to be. There was cutscenes happening that are full motion video, and people are talking, you can see their lips are moving, but there's nothing coming out of this, the headphones. So at first I thought maybe it was broken, and maybe my headphones just weren't working. And then one of the girls from Square was like, "Oh no, that's by design. That's the way they've designed the game." It was interesting because, unfortunately, in the setting that I was in, it was a very long cutscene.
Yeah,
which was forever. Kind of a bummer because I don't think it was a great indication of kind of what that game may or may not play like. I did get a chance to play a little bit of the actual brawling part. There's a real weight to the character, which I'm not sure I was the biggest fan of. But at the same time, like the punching and the kicking and the actual connecting of the punches and stuff to the enemies, like has pretty catastrophic effects. You see teeth flying when you punch guys or girls. Things like that, like when you do certain moves and you see like arms breaking, you can, like it gets pretty visceral. I don't really know too much about what was going on in the story. I'm interested in what that game will end up being like. I get the feeling it's not super long, so I don't know, like, I feel like if the price was right, it might be really interesting just from a perspective, like, I don't really know if there's ever been a game that's kind of tried to take on what it's like to be deaf like that. It was cool. It was the whole trying to bring the FMV into it and whatnot. It's unique, if that. So
that stuff looked super well produced.
Oh yeah, for sure. Using like there was even a couple fairly big name actors in that game too that were acting. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see kind of how that game turns out and what it looks like in the final build. So
they didn't have a date or anything, did they?
No, they didn't. So and then from there we had an appointment to go see Evasion, which is a PSVR game being developed by a studio actually out of Vancouver, which is pretty cool because that's, obviously close to home for me. Super nice people. It's a first-person shooter style VR game where it's compatible with the what do they call the new? I want to call it the Zapper, but I know that's not right.
Aim controller?
Yeah, it's the new PlayStation VR aim controller. So it's compatible with that. So if you bought Farpoint or any of those other games that come bundled with it, it's compatible with that, which is pretty cool. Rick and I both played it. Unfortunately, due to the fact that the internet at the location that they were at was really bad, we weren't able to try the co-op. They were trying to explain to us like what the co-op and stuff, and they wanted to be able to show us that, but just due to the connection being so bad, we just did the single player level. It was fun. I thought they did a really good job of like the locomotion. I didn't really get motion sick. They had multiple.
Oh yeah, they had every control option imaginable. They had the teleport. You could just use the dual sticks like I did because I don't get motion sick in VR games, luckily. So I was able to do just, the dual stick controls without any issues. It has a neat little mix. There's different classes.
Yeah, so it's like
co-op.
4 classes, 4 or 5 classes.
Co-op, like Dane was saying, and they do say there's a story mode with like bosses and stuff like that, and it has a mechanic where your gun has a tether on it, and as you defeat enemies and get them into like a weak state, you can tether them and then like pull the controller as if you're like, catching a fish or pulling in a fish. And
you're almost like pulling the power-ups out of them.
Yeah, basically that's it. You get an extra power-up out of them when you do that.
So sometimes it's health, or sometimes it is a damage boost or whatever.
Yeah, and as you build up these power-ups, your weapon gets into like an overcharge mode, and then you can like do this big special attack. And my guy had like a spread shot that he would do as well when he was in that mode, like a big giant spread shot. It like almost turned into like a super shotgun.
Nice.
Which was kind of neat. It controlled really well. I thought it was alright.
Yeah.
It's out in a couple weeks, I think. They said it's coming out for Vive and
Oculus on the PC, as well as PSVR. We played the PSVR version of it. It had a similar look to Farpoint, I wanna say. Like, I'm not sure if it's just because they were both using the same engine or what. It does look a little Farpoint-ish, but it played really well. I will be curious to see what that game looks like when it comes out. So
I'm trying to find the release date, but I can't.
Yeah. So
what was next?
We went and saw the guys over at Lucid Sound, and we got to check out their new LS35X wireless headset for the Xbox One.
That thing was nice. I must say,
it's a nice looking headset.
It's a nice sounding headset. It's a nice constructed headset. Nice looking headset. It's got a nice feature set.
It looks a little bit like a Beats or a Monster headset. It looks kind of similar to that.
Like less.
Like it doesn't look like a video game headset, which is pretty nice. It has a mic that's detachable. So if you want to wear them out because you want to plug it into your phone or you're going somewhere else and you don't want to buy 30 different headsets for all the different things you're going to do with your life, that's pretty cool. It's using the proprietary Xbox or the proprietary Microsoft wireless connection, which is cool.
So no dongle.
Yeah, so it connects directly to your Xbox. If you do happen to have the Xbox or the
Windows 10 dongle.
It will also connect to that. So you could use it on your PC that way, as well as your Xbox. It does have a plug-in mode as well, so you could use it by plugging into the PlayStation 4 controller. You could use it with that. So it could be...
Or your phone or anything.
Yeah, so it really could be like kind of an all-in-one headset. They also said one of the things I thought was really cool was it's got a detachable mic that they've actually designed to sound good so that you don't have that going on, which is really cool. But also, if you do detach the mic and you are out, say, using it with your cell phone, it actually has a built-in microphone as well. So if you did decide to take a phone call or something like that, you would be able to actually use that.
Still use it
as your headset.
I liked the volume dials were like integrated into the headset. The big circle rings around the headset were the dials for like the game volume and the balance between chat and game audio volume, and they were just left and right dials, super easy to use. And then also you had mute buttons. You could even just mute the game audio or the mic audio.
Yeah.
Which was kind of nice. Just tap the sides of they're just one big button and like nothing's hidden. It's super simple and intuitive.
But it doesn't look like you've got these big shiny glowing button things either, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's not littered with buttons and dials and in weird places that you end up messing stuff up. Like I always end up doing with my Logitech headset. I'm changing surround modes and doing all other stuff when I'm just meaning to like mute it or you know. It's a nice headset. It's not out yet. It's what he said, about another month or so. Yeah,
he was figuring early October probably. Was what he was saying.
And it is, you could use it with Atmos.
It was Atmos compatible with the software. They're not supplying the Atmos software, but it is Dolby Digital Headphone certified. And if you do download the Atmos, it is compatible with Atmos, which is pretty cool. So
they have... so that's the LS35X. And then they have a 41X, they were saying, which is the PlayStation version, basically.
Yeah.
With the THX or what is it, DTS?
It's the DTS-X, which is their... Well, yeah, it's just their sort of high-end version of their audio stuff, because the PlayStation doesn't support Atmos.
Yeah, it's their virtual 7.1 BS.
Yeah.
Whatever. Well, it's not theirs, it's Dolby's.
It's also, that headset's also Bluetooth, he said. So, obviously, if your computer has Bluetooth, it can connect that way. PlayStation, so it's kind of...
I imagine it can also connect to your phone via Bluetooth as well.
Yeah. So...
Yeah, it was a nice piece of kit.
They're nice headsets. They really are. I don't know. We'll have to see. I'll have to reach out and see if maybe we can take a look at maybe testing one of them. I was definitely curious to see kind of what they're doing. I'm curious about the audio quality, because like they definitely went and spoke a lot about the features of the headset and stuff, but didn't really get too much into what the driver size was, things like that, what the impedance and whatnot is. So I'll be kind of curious about that. So, yeah.
From there, we headed downstairs to Valve's booth. Valve's had a big coming out party for Artifact, which is their Dota 2 based card game, which I find to be super freaking complicated.
So,
which isn't very surprising for basically a MOBA card game with 3 lanes, 5 heroes, multiple systems. Here's a crash course. Try and figure it out. It definitely has a much higher barrier to entry, or
in a weird way, it's like playing 3 games of Hearthstone all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of. But then each one of the games that you're playing concurrently can, in theory, affect one another, and so on and so forth. I mean...
In each lane, there's a tower, just like a MOBA. And the point was to destroy 2 of your opponent's towers.
Yeah.
Or if you destroyed one of their towers, basically you could destroy their core, which was also another win condition as well.
Yeah.
I lost both my games, and half the time had no idea what I was doing, because there's a lot of mechanics going on.
It's very complex.
The way the attacks work, the penalty box when one of your heroes is knocked out. I just think
you have to have a hero in each one of the lanes
to use cards
in order to be able to use other cards in that lane.
You have creep mobs that spawn and randomly go down lanes. They're like base damage, base health enemies that continually spawn every round, but
you don't have any...
You can't use any abilities or spells on them. You need a hero in your lane, and it's either a red hero or a blue hero or a green hero.
Or a black hero.
Yeah, my deck was a red-blue deck, it seemed.
Mine was green and black.
I didn't like the deck that I was playing. I think that's part of the problem, is that deck had a huge power ramp, and that's not how I like to play card games.
Right.
I like to play, the aggressive decks. So, you win quickly or you fizz out. I don't like the ones that are defensive and you want to build up for your crazy attacks.
Right.
So I think that's why I had a lot of problems with my...
I played my first match, won, and then I played against another human being, and it was very close. We both took out a tower each, and then the last tower that I had was I think I lost by 2 points. So it was a very close game. I won't lie though, I don't think at any point I ever felt like I knew what the hell I was doing. That being said, I didn't play a ton of Hearthstone. I'm not super big into the deck building games just because I don't want to spend the time to build my decks. And I don't I played a lot of Magic growing up, and then I stopped playing Magic because it's extremely expensive and time consuming. And I already had enough expensive time consuming hobbies in my life. But there was an element of randomness to it. And yeah, it's intense. Artifact is intense, but you know what? It actually makes sense. I was thinking about it later, and it's Dota 2 is by far and away the most technical and intense of all the MOBAs out there. One missed attack could lose the whole game for you or them, and I feel like in a weird way, Artifact is the card game that really does mirror that in the collecting deck building card games. So yeah, there was a ton of people there. They all seemed very interested, very excited about it. I don't know that that's a game for me. That being said, if you're into deck building games and you thought that, Hearthstone was a lot of fun, but you maybe wanted something a little more meaty, this is definitely that. Yeah, it was oh man, I'm not even, I don't know, I feel like I'm not really doing it justice to kind of explain it very well, but it's go check it out online if you're interested, because it is definitely they're going places with it, that's for sure, and they're taking some pretty interesting. They really, I think they did a good job in taking the MOBA with the 3 lanes and the heroes and all that kind of stuff, and trying to figure out like how you could make that into a card game, which is cool. But
super gonna appeal to the Dota 2 fans, and let's be honest, for anyone who also might be thinking that Hearthstone is too simple. Maybe they want something a little... Yeah. It's not complicated. It's just, being thrown to it. And it's like...
Totally.
Not understanding the systems may make it seem more complicated than it is at first. Like, if I had a better idea what was going on, I might be, aha. Like, have it click. It's coming out November 28th.
Yeah.
It's $20. And a big thing is that it was... the beta starts in October. Mm-hmm. And you're actually going to be able to sell cards on the marketplace. So this is going to be a big cash cow, I assume, for Valve.
I'm sure they're going to make tons of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had huge lineups. People are pretty excited for it, that's for sure. I know everyone would rather see a Half-Life 3 or a Half-Life Episode 3 or...
Come on,
whatever.
Man. When has Valve ever been able to do anything 3? I don't even know if they can write 3. They've never made a 3rd game in any one of their series. I mean, technically, you could argue maybe Counter-Strike. Like you had Counter-Strike, the original, that went up to 1.6, and then Counter-Strike Source came out, and then in theory, the 3rd Counter-Strike could be Counter-Strike Go. But honestly, they've never made anything 3. That's Portal funny. 2, they stopped.
Yeah.
Left 4 Dead 2, they stopped. So, I don't know. Valve seems to be afraid of the number 3. I don't know. So, yeah. Anyways.
So, we went to play Windjammers 2. After that, which was pretty cool. It was fun. It's super early.
Yeah. It's super early.
It's like next year, what did they say? PC and Switch? I assume it's going to be everything eventually.
Yeah.
They only had 2 characters. Mm-hmm. I don't remember their names. I don't think they even had names on the screen.
I don't even know if they were named yet.
It had like a hand-drawn art style for the characters. It seemed.
Super high res though. Yeah, really well animated. Like really pretty. I love that art style.
I don't know how... I remember Windjammers in the arcade, but I don't remember playing it. I probably played it.
Well, it was out on the Neo Geo, right?
Yeah.
The original Neo Geo?
In the arcade, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it had that old kind of slightly better than... Well, I would say slightly better than a Super Nintendo game look to it. Kind of halfway between...
Flying disc game.
But yeah, it's... I don't know, how would you... It's kind of like air hockey in a weird way.
Like you throw air a disc, hockey with...
but you can bounce it off the walls. The whole idea is to get it past your opponent. If you get it in the corners, that's worth more points than if it's in the middle.
You got EX moves, which you charge up over the match, which are like big, crazy-ass moves.
Yeah.
You've got lob shot and regular shot. But depending on... whether you flip up the disc, you could dive around to make saves and obviously throw the disc back. But there was also a strategy where you could flip it up in the air and almost get like a free special move if you were under the disc as it was flipping up in the air and you got your timing right.
Yeah,
it's Windjammers, that's for sure.
Oh yes, very much
except
so.
for the pixely like 16-bit ish graphics. It's got this new high res. Looking at Windjammers 1, I'm looking at a video of Windjammers 1 right now, and it's everything we saw in Windjammers 2, but
just prettier.
Very, very pretty.
Yeah.
Clearly they're going to be bringing a lot of that nostalgia, and I assume they're going to add some new stuff to it as well.
Yeah. I think that'll be,
we had a blast. We played for half an hour nonstop.
Yeah, they pretty much had to kick us off that. Like, hey guys, so we have other people that need to play that now.
Do you want to play Streets of Rage now? Yeah. So
that was fun.
Yeah,
I'm pretty excited.
I wasn't expecting to have so much fun with it.
I mean, to be fair, the original Windjammers is a pretty awesome game. So
We played Streets of Rage 4 next. Again, that really high resolution, like kind of hand-drawn character art.
This is the same studio that did Wonder Boy that came out last year. Mm-hmm. So really, really high res. Like, it's funny when I was a kid and people were telling me that video games were gonna get, they started looking better and better, like with the Nintendo and then the Super Nintendo and then into the Saturn and into the PlayStation. Mm-hmm. I kind of thought that the way that these games look
is what your games
is what my games were going to look. Yeah,
as opposed to the more photorealistic. It's
totally like
more Saturday cartoon, like less pixely.
Yeah, like really high resolution, like just like that beautiful, really crisp art. And it's funny because it's like weird that we've kind of in a weird way reverted back to the 16-bit pixel stuff. Which I get because it's a lot easier, I think, to do from an art perspective. But either way, these guys have some incredible artists, and they're doing Streets of Rage 4 in that style, which I'm totally down with.
It played really well. It's super early. They didn't have all the moves finished for Blaze, the female character.
Yeah.
We played like a couple stages, or 2 or 3 stages?
Yeah, it was like a couple sort of in a row with a boss at the end. Mm-hmm. It's very much a throwback to Streets of Rage. Like, it's very much that old school style.
I didn't notice, like, any really new systems or anything. You've got your special moves, which take some life to cast. Mm-hmm. But if you're able to pull off a combo after you do a special move, you restore your life. So it's like a risk-reward system when you do special moves.
Yeah.
It costs you some energy, but if you can pull off a combo without getting hit or interrupted, you manage to get that life back.
You can still beat player 2 up.
Yeah.
By accident or on purpose.
Team killing.
Yep, that's the thing. So yeah, like, again, that was super early. Like, really early.
Yeah, I thought I liked it, but I'm hoping there's more systems and depth to it, because otherwise it's just another old school beat 'em up. It's I don't know how exciting that's going to last for like a full on.
I mean, generally those games weren't overly long though, right? Like, you could usually get through them in a couple hours.
They're arcade games, right? So,
so
it looked pretty and played as you would expect. It controlled very well.
But if you were hoping for a completely redesigned 3D crazy Streets of Rage 4, this is more of a throwback.
But, there's lots of probably, I don't know, they didn't mention other characters or features, so there could be a lot that changes between now and when it comes out, because they don't have a date. It's earliest next year.
It's very, very early.
Yeah, and Windjammers is super early too, like 1 stage, 2 characters. Mm-hmm. So, and then they had another game in their suite that we went to. I didn't play what you played, which was Young Souls, and it seemed like an RPG beat 'em up.
Yeah,
with really awesome graphics.
It's
really
so
cool
pretty
art style.
Like I said, that team, man, like because they were all 3 different games from a similar team over in France, and like, man, those guys have incredible artists over there, because every one of their games just looks beautiful. Young Souls, like you said, it was like a beat 'em up with RPG elements,
but more like a Golden Axe with 3D graphics, 3D world.
Yeah,
but
on a 2D plane kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. Really, really fun. It was quite difficult. You had abilities. You had like a magic attack that you could do. You had a dodge move. You had, depending on the weapon that you had, you either had a sword and a shield, or you had like a 2-handed sword, and if you had the 2-handed sword, then you didn't have a shield, so you could parry, but you couldn't defend. So you had to be really careful about how you tried to attack and defend yourself that way. I was playing co-op with the one developer. Fairly difficult, but fun. It was really early with that game. They kind of explain, like, as you play, you're going to get some various, you're going to get like, gear that you're going to be able to level up, so on and so forth. And as you play, like, that will continue and help you move forward. It sounded like I'm trying to remember if he said it was kind of like roguelike or not. I think it was persistent.
It's just an RPG beat 'em up.
So
I'm reading here 70 plus dungeons, strong narrative story.
Oh yeah,
co-op. Second character can join you at any moment.
Yeah. No, it was fun. It played really well.
It looked awesome.
It was. I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed
Souls.
it. Yeah. So.
Where are we here? Okay, Left Alive. After that, we went over to Square Enix again, but this time Square Enix Japan, and got a demo of Left Alive, which they revealed at E3 last year, which is basically a Konami or a Square Enix Metal Gear game. Multiple characters, third-person, cover-based shooter with crafting mechanics. It's all about survival. Seems like I don't know if seems like resources are quite limited. Enemies are pretty strong, so you have to strategically advance through areas. Guns blazing is not going to be the ideal way to deal with enemies in this. And there are some mechanics involving saving like civilians and stuff in levels.
So you kind of had to choose like whether or not you wanted to sort of not really waste, but use the resources to help save people or not. You know, if you can spend the resources to try and save people, then you could, or you could sort of choose to move on. It was kind of up to you.
And they even said, like, depending on what you do is going to affect your ending. Like, characters, the people you save will be part of your ending. And the art style from, like, the artwork they showed was total Metal Gear. I swear it's the same artist who does all those amazing illustrations for the Metal Gear series. His name escapes me at the moment. Sorry. Even the music sounded like Metal Gear music.
Yeah. Wow. When the enemies started coming in and that music, I was like, whoa. It is set in the front mission universe.
Yeah, and it did have mech combat as well. So there was some.
But it sounds like there's kind of a risk reward with that, even where apparently you can sort of steal a mech and cause some pretty significant chaos. But they're usually very well guarded, and it's kind of a whole, like I said, risk reward with that. That game honestly looked like a cross between Metal Gear Survive and Metal Gear Solid. And I swear, like, if somebody wouldn't have told me that was a Square Enix game, I honestly would have thought that it was a Konami game. Like, everything, like the fonts, the buttons, like the menus even looked like Metal Gear.
Yeah.
It was kind of wild. There's quite a bit of choice.
Super early. Super beta.
Yeah.
It's definitely lacking polish. It obviously is lacking, like, optimization. I think that's why they haven't released any videos for this, because it's so early.
Oh yeah, and they even said like they're almost at a point now where they've got the full game sort of playable, and then from there the polish starts and so on and so forth. But
it looks like there's some neat concepts, that's for sure.
And they called it a cover-based survival action game, I believe. Because there is like a lot of ducking behind cover. We saw a sequence where before, at the very beginning of the sequence, they were actually building like all of the weapons and devices that they were going to use in the sort of upcoming skirmish.
She was crafting everything.
Yeah.
Like, from grenades to trip mines to smoke grenades that she made.
Yeah, exactly.
In the first section, there was a female character. Other sections, they had male characters.
Yeah.
There's several.
So it looks like there's multiple characters, at least 3 in the game that we saw.
It looked kind of neat. I'm sure when it's all polished up and smoothed out in another year or 2 from now, when it eventually comes out, it might be a neat game.
Yeah, definitely interesting. It kind of surprised me. I didn't really. Yeah.
That was our day 1.
Yeah, that was pretty much everything we saw yesterday.
And then today, you played some Grandia 2 on the Switch.
Yeah, Grandia 2 remastered. They're doing Grandia 1 and 2. 1 was not there to see. Grandia 2, he didn't know which version they were using to remaster. I'm hoping it was the original on Dreamcast and not the PlayStation 2 one, because I know the PlayStation 2 one had some pretty severe sort of issues. it was super early for that. They were only showing off more or less one battle with 3 of the main characters. It's very much Grandia 2 on the Switch. I don't know how much of the...
It was super early. Effects weren't done.
No, it was very, very early.
And they said this winter, which is pretty crazy considering how early that demo was. You think they'd be...
Also, this isn't like a remake. This is a remaster. This is an up-res.
Yeah.
The game isn't going to look... It's not going to blow your socks off.
It's not.
Like, this is more or less Grandia 2 running on a Switch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in 720p and 1080p versus the muddy 480p or whatever it was running on the Dreamcast, right? So, that being said, Grandia 2 is one of my all-time favorite RPGs. The battle system's there.
I had a lot of fun with it on Dreamcast. So. I didn't, honestly, when you were playing it, I'm like, man, I don't remember it. I don't remember. I know I beat this game. I beat it back in the day.
I know, so did I. It took a little while for it to come back, but it did come back to me, so...
And we went to go check out Killer Queen Black, which was on Switch.
Yeah.
4-on-4, 8-player, What kind of game? What kind of game is it? I don't even know what kind of game it is.
What's the what's that? Oh man, it's like a couch co-op game. There's another one that just came out. It was out on the PlayStation 4. It was like big. It got its start on the Ouya.
Towerfall?
Yeah,
no.
It feels in some ways a bit like that style of game. Where
I don't know about that.
But there's objectives, is what I was going to say. Like it's a kind of, instead of just being stuck in an arena like that and killing each other till the last one's dead or alive, there's actually objectives.
Yeah, the objective isn't just killing.
Exactly.
You've got your queen. Each team has a queen. Then they have their 3 workers, which you can evolve into soldiers or other different weapon classes. The 3 ways of winning the game are: you either kill the other person's queen
3 times.
Yeah, you do an economic victory where you collect what were they?
Like berries.
Yeah, you collect berries and you take them to your home.
Yeah, your hive.
And you fill in the
hive.
There's little holes in the hive, which is like how many you have to collect.
Yeah.
And then the third one was there's this like weird snail monster on the level that you can ride on, and it's super slow. And if your team rides it from point A to point B, the finish line, you win that way. So there's like 3 ways to win: kill the queen, collect the berries, or ride the snail.
And it is just.
And
chaos.
It's a little chaotic, but it's like good chaos. Like the queen controls kind of like Joust, or even when you upgrade some of your drones into warriors, they'll get wings. So they're all insects. But yeah, when you've got wings on your queen or any of the drones, when you upgrade them to a warrior class, it's like playing Joust. You tap the button to fly higher, or you let go and you fall to the earth. And the queen can like shoot forward with her spear, or she can like dive down, kind of like a Link down sword attack.
Mm-hmm.
And basically you can use her to pester the drones, like stop them from collecting, go and protect your player on the snail, or attack their player who's advancing the snail. And of course, you can just straight up have queen versus queen battles, which happens quite often. And when the queen dies 3 times, that's it. That's one of the victory conditions. And then, of course, the collecting the berries of the snail. I think we played like 4, 5, 6 games or something like that.
We played a few.
We both played as the queen and as workers. And I messed around with evolving.
It was interesting too, because you had to, like, the way the queen would fly, you'd have to tap the button to kind of make her go up or down. It was kind of an interesting. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. With some of your friends on the couch.
Oh yeah, that could be a blast.
It comes out. Did he say October?
Yes, I was. I don't actually remember if he gave us a release date or not.
We were playing on the Switch. It says March 2019 here.
Okay.
Online, so...
There you go.
For some reason I thought it was coming out sooner than that.
But it is like a 2D, everything happens on one screen.
Yeah, like very
style game.
16-bit.
Yeah.
Steam has it for this winter.
Okay.
So maybe it's Steam and then Switch next year.
Well, technically March is just squeaking in the winter, you know.
And then we were roaming around the 6th floor of the conference hall. Is that how it was spelled?
Yeah.
Were you just checking the
Coffence,
pictures?
yeah.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Coffence, because
it's like
you're
fencing.
You're dueling fencing with coffee cups on kind of like a yo-yo string.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's
how
like
that
you have
works.
you're right. I think it's a good way of explaining it. Actually, is that like your coffee cup is almost like on the end of a string, and you start off. It's like almost like a fighting game.
Yeah, it is a fighting game. It's a 2D fighting game.
Yep.
You start with coffee in your cup.
Yeah,
and the
you
point
both have
is
essentially four splashes of coffee in your cup.
The point is to empty your opponent's coffee cup.
So you have to attack
by flinging your coffee cup at their mug, and if you hit their mug, then it knocks out coffee.
And then you actually have to try and get the coffee into your mug.
You don't have to.
No.
But if you do, what happens is a splash of coffee flies out of their cup in the air.
Yeah.
And it'll be colored appropriate to the character who lost the drop of coffee.
So if you're blue, then it'll be blue.
If you lose your coffee cup or drop, it flies in the air, and you can recover it before your opponent does. Or if your opponent recovers it, he actually goes up. He basically,
he gets an extra sip of cup.
Yeah, he gains life, essentially.
Yeah.
Or it can splash on the ground, and then it's one less coffee that's in the match.
Exactly.
So, you could end up losing all of it, and then last man standing wins.
Right.
But there's you can jump, you can block.
Yeah.
You can block,
you can kind of parry.
You can break a block. And then it's a dual stick, so with your right stick, you can aim your coffee cup in any direction and shoot it, extend it on the string, kind of flinging it at them and then recalling it.
Or you don't even need to use the string.
Or you can mail it in, getting close.
Yeah.
And you've got a roll, double tap forward or back.
And if you hit the character and not the cup, you almost give a very, very momentary sort of stun. So you can kind of stun the character and then try to hit the cup. Because that's the whole idea is that you're trying to clink the cups.
And the guys are kind of in a fencer style position holding their coffee cups.
It's ridiculous and a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was kind of neat.
It was really, I really enjoyed it. I actually might want to swing by there again before PAX is over.
It's going to be out on Steam, I think he said soon.
Yeah.
Or it's out now on Steam, actually.
He said it was in early access on Steam.
Yeah, early access, and then it's going to be on Switch. Oops, sorry, I kicked the microphone. It's going to be on Switch, I think, later this year, early next year, he was saying.
Yeah, he's working on it coming out on Switch.
It's early access, $15.
Yeah, and he did say it will be coming to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One as well.
There's a story mode, multiple characters. Mm-hmm. It's got really cool graphics. I
really like the art style.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That was fun.
That game was a blast. Really, really fun, local co-op. There is online as well. But just, it's a unique thing, for sure.
And then we played... Well, I didn't play. I went and saw the Shovel Knight stuff. I was watching it.
Right.
Because they announced their big update. And I feel like they announced that during that Nintendo Nindies event earlier last week. Mm-hmm. Basically, they're finishing up the Shovel Knight content. If you have Shovel Knight Treasure Trove, you will get this as an update, or if you don't, I don't know. I guess it's just part of Treasure Trove now. So the update, if you don't have the game, you just buy Treasure Trove. And come April 9th, you'll get these two new pieces of content, which is King of Cards, which is the King Knight expansion. And it's a card game, but it's also like a platforming game with King Knight. And he plays quite differently than, like, say, Plague Knight and Spectre Knight or Shovel Knight. He does like a charge move, and he also does like the spinning like jump, kind of like Mario's spin jump.
Oh, okay.
In Mario World,
right,
where he does damage and breaks blocks and whatnot.
Nice.
I didn't get to really see. I saw the card game, but I didn't sit around to get an explanation of it because I was looking at the other piece of content that's part of this update, Shovel Knight Showdown, which is not coming to the 3DS or the Vita. But it will be coming to the Switch and the PC versions, obviously. And it was basically Shovel Knight, Smash Brothers 4-player free-for-all like fighting game with all the different knights from Shovel Knight.
Wow.
And some other characters that I feel like there might have been some other characters that weren't specifically just the knights from the Shovel Knight, because if you've never played Shovel Knight, it's got like multiple knights in it, kind of like Mega Man Robot Masters. So that's a big thing of Shovel Knight. And that looked really cool. That looked like fun. Awesome. I love Shovel Knight, so I'm excited for a new campaign and, hey, a free fighting game mode.
Right.
Sure. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, no, for sure.
From there, we went downstairs to check out Devolver Digital's booth, and my friend Pedro, which is
the name of an imaginary banana.
Yeah. It's a 2D. It's 3D, but it's just 2-dimensional platforming shooter with bullet hell.
It felt like somebody took Max Payne, crossed it with Hotline Miami, but on a 2D side-scrolling style.
Bullet hell, bullet time mechanics.
Yeah.
You can freeze time. You've got individual limb control, so you can aim guns in several directions while flipping through the air, pulling aerial tricks, dodging bullets, and it's got a really cool visual style. It's almost kind of like a score, like a puzzle game in essence, because you can run through a level and try to combo up all your kills the best efficient way, take advantage of like stage bonuses or like interacting with stage objects to boost your points and whatnot.
It was fun.
It's got cool soundtrack.
A lot of fun.
Awesome visuals. Super like over the top violence.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like that Matrix and like you said, what was the other one? Max Payne.
Well, it's hilarious.
Shoot 'em up, baby.
Because we asked the developer what the name of the main character was, and he's like, I don't know. I didn't give him a name. And we're like, wait, so Pedro is the imaginary banana that's telling him to do things? And he's like, yeah. So like, it's a pretty unique game.
So you got like pistols, machine guns, Uzis, shotguns.
Yep. Oh yeah.
He showed us a very like stage far in the game where he was skating through like a construction site on a skateboard. Meanwhile, he was flying and flipping through the air in slow motion, masterfully murdering enemies like point blank with a shotgun while flipping through the air.
Kicking frying pans up into the air, bouncing shotgun shots
reflecting
off of the frying pan into guys.
Reflecting bullets off of like construction, like crane arms.
Oh yeah.
Swinging on ropes and like masterfully like flying through the level. Of course
it was ridiculous.
He got an S rank, but he did it in like one big like fluid run.
Oh, it looked so cool.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
There's vehicle levels where you're riding on a motorcycle, shooting enemies. There's bosses.
But you can flip the motorcycle backwards. Yeah. And like, it was ridiculous. You go off jumps. And
super stylish game. Yeah. Like, super stylish game.
Really, really fun. Had a blast with that game.
Yeah. It's a one-man band.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does everything except the music, he said.
And he was saying early 2019. Well, did he say that?
And we were playing the Switch version.
No, we were playing PC.
No, right, sorry.
It's gonna come to Switch.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It was fun.
It's a cool game, man.
That game was, super cool. I liked it a lot.
What Where are we finding the outline? We talked about Shovel Knight. Oh, we went over to check out Metro Exodus. If you've played the Metro games, it's the third game in the series. Is that right?
Yep.
It is. I think it's coming to everything, isn't it? Our demo was on Xbox, but I don't think it's an exclusive.
I don't believe it is, unless it's an Xbox PC exclusive.
No, it shows PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Windows. Yeah.
They've just showed it on Xbox a bunch.
February 22nd. You're still playing as RTM.
Right.
You've gotten out of the subway stations in Russia, and you're basically just saying, he was saying that you're on a train with some other characters moving through these different areas of the game, and it says it takes place over different seasons, the different factions. A big aspect of the game is crafting. There's no longer the bullet currency, because obviously clearly in these different areas that aren't part of the civilization, you just, well, the crumbling little bits of civilization you just left in Russia.
There's not a whole lot of bullets left as we learned.
Exactly.
Much bigger open, it had a much bigger open world feel to it.
The area I was playing in was very dark. It's much wider from what I remember of Metro Last Light. Multiple paths, kind of almost reminds me of like a Dishonored, like, 3 different ways to get to the same place. The guy in the demo, he's just PR, but he was saying that there's a lot of reward to going off the beaten path and finding extra crafting materials. You can modify all your weapons from stocks to barrels and sights and whatnot, which changed behavior and obviously damage and whatnot. You can break down weapons you find in the world and essentially collect mods for your arsenal. It seemed pretty solid.
Very pretty.
It was. He didn't give us a lot of direction. It was just like, go have at her. So it wasn't a super guided demo, but we had some combat, we had some traversal, we found some secrets, we had some jump scares.
Oh yeah.
It's very, very
Don't
pretty.
go in the water.
Like Dane was saying, it's pretty. I liked the Metro games. They're pretty cool. They're a different feeling shooter, like a different environment, different tone than our Western like first person shooters. So yeah, it's coming out next year, February 22nd. It seemed pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'm reading here. Apparently, it's somewhere around here at PAX on PC.
Oh, interesting.
I think. And I need to check that out. I'd like to see the ray tracing. I don't know if it was the TV that made it especially dark, but we were also playing at night. There's roving packs of monsters or animals.
Mutants.
Mutants, yeah. And that was something in Metro when you were out of the subway stations. It was like very dangerous to be out of
This seems like it mirrored that.
I was getting effed up by wolves left, right, and center. The humans were like they were a cakewalk, but the wolves were like. It probably didn't help that it had no bullets. Yeah, it was using a single shot like crossbow, so that probably didn't help.
On a controller.
Yeah. We went and spent some time in the Sony booth. I was talking to the dev of Spelunky 2, and while Dane was playing Shakedown Hawaii.
Yeah.
Spelunky 2 is more Spelunky. New stages. It's basically like a new content drop, but it's like a whole new game. And then it's new areas. Same gameplay mechanics. He said they're not really changing anything. This is just basically for the people who've like mastered and beat Spelunky 1. He said, unfortunately, it's not coming to Vita, unlike the first Spelunky.
I feel like at this point you kind of have to accept that. As much as we love the Vita,
it's kind of going to pasture.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the Switch is the new Vita.
It's coming out for PlayStation first.
Okay.
And then PC.
Oh, interesting. Because wasn't the first Spelunky a Flash game?
I think
PC
so. Then
game,
PC and then PlayStation.
Then a PlayStation.
And then I think everything. Mm-hmm. Well, not everything's on Switch. But they have added lava and water and stuff, environmental hazards that they didn't really have in the first one. But like in terms of controls and everything and weapons, it's the Spelunky
Yeah,
but
it looks pretty
much
like if you were to tell me that wasn't Spelunky 2, I would probably not have known.
Yeah, you would have probably just thought it was like a DLC.
Yeah, exactly.
Meanwhile, I was talking to him. You were playing Shakedown Hawaii.
Yeah,
which is a sequel to what's the first one? But it's not Shakedown. I don't think it's called Shakedown anything.
Oh. I don't know. It was a super, super pixel art, sort of top down. It felt a lot like the
old school Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, Retro City Rampage.
Oh yes, I totally played a bunch of that. That makes a lot of sense.
This is a sequel to that.
Okay. Yeah, very much kind of that old school throwback. It had a real funny sense of humor where it was hating on everything more or less new. You play this old guy that made a whole bunch of money off self-help books and videotapes and recordings and video stores. At one point you had a chain of video stores, and your manager calls one day and says you're broke because all your video stores are closing and the kids are using online shopping and nobody's buying things in your brick and mortar stores and we're not selling any more of your VHS tapes. And you get all PO'd about that, so you take off and start shaking down Hawaii to try and see if you can change that. It's a really tongue-in-cheek. You can beat people up on the street, steal their money, jump in a car, drive around, go on missions. It's that kind of top-down style. Yeah, the gameplay wise, it was fun, very
and it's
very
like
similar.
A pixel art style, but it's like it's not 8-bit.
No,
but it's not. But it's kind of like 16-bit. But it's.
And I think part of the problem that I was having, to be fair, was I was playing it on a giant like TV monitor that I was
2 feet away from your face.
Yeah, so all the pixels are so big. It kind of felt like it was almost too, like the pixels were too big almost. Like it. Yeah.
I own Retro City Rampage, but I can't remember where.
I have it on Vita.
That's it. Maybe I have it on Vita.
It was a PlayStation Plus game at some point. Yeah. Interesting. If you were into that style of game, this is more of that, and it has definitely got a unique sense of humor, let's just say that.
So next to that demo, a couple of kids were playing the Hong Kong Massacre.
That game,
which let me jump in on it. It's basically looks like Hotline Miami 2. It's the exact same gameplay as Hotline Miami 2, minus a couple aspects in that it has a bullet time freeze, like time slowdown mechanic, and a dodge mechanic, and also it's graphically it's like more of a gritty photorealistic, it's not a pixelated
super high resolution. It looks awesome.
Yeah, and it's basically like a adult version of Hotline Miami.
Not that Hotline Miami wasn't.
No, absolutely not. But real pretty graphics, and with the slowdown mechanic and dodgy mechanic, and same kind of thing. It's like a puzzle basically. It's a puzzle shooter. How to navigate the enemies, the rooms, and progress through the level. It seems really freaking cool. It looked really freaking cool. I had fun. Like these kids were pretty far along. They were on a pretty tough level, and they're like, "Oh, you can restart." And I'm like, "I don't want to," because they were just playing it because no one else was like coming by. I guess
I kind of want to swing by there and
check
play
it out
that
for
again.
yourself.
Yeah,
it was freaking cool
because it just like even just the visuals made me like drawn to it.
Yeah, it looks
it's
fantastic.
Just such a cool vibe.
There's a bunch of cool little setups in the Sony booth that aren't too busy that you can almost just walk up to and play anything. I still want to play Tetris. Hopefully I'll get a chance to play that tomorrow or Monday.
I will say while we were doing that at the end, I will say I was watching the new Spyro remake, and holy balls, that game looks good. Like, yeah, it does look really good. Nice. I may actually end up standing in line so I can play some of that. Apparently the line was pretty crazy, though.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They had capped it at some point.
Yeah, they delayed that, right? November now? We talked about that on the way down here.
Yeah, unfortunately.
After that, we headed over to the Hard Rock for Bethesda's Gameplay Days, which is now done. They just had this event going on at the Hard Rock for the last 2 days.
Yeah, Friday, Saturday.
basically they had Rage 2 there, Quake Champions,
Elder Scrolls
card game, Elder Scrolls Online.
Because they just released the big content update for Elder Scrolls Online. So
and then they had Elder Scrolls Blades, which is basically the cell phone Skyrim.
And they also had the Prey...
Prey DLC. Moon Crash? Is that what it was?
Moon something.
Yeah, that came out at E3, so they were still promoting that, obviously.
Yeah.
No Fallout 76, though Pip-Boy and a lot of Fallout
related stuff
was around.
But I got to play Rage 2.
Yeah, I would say but I didn't. Dane played Rage 2, which was the same demo from E3, which you guys already heard my thoughts on that a couple months ago.
That gameplay is really good. It feels like a cross between Doom, Doom 2015, and Crysis set in a Fallout universe, kind of.
It's kind of 2016.
Was it 2016? That sounds probably right.
I think it's 2016.
Regardless, it's like you kind of have some of those powers that you have, kind of like from Crysis, where you've got that ground pound move, and you got a few kind of moves that you get. You got like a dash, ground pound, but the gunplay and stuff felt very
overcharge, which basically makes you go super crazy, extra damage.
Yeah. It was fun. It plays really well. The guns feel good. They're weighted well. I didn't play, obviously the demo I played was only it's like 10, 15 minutes. It wasn't super long. I was playing it on mouse and keyboard, on a PC. Not sure what the specs of the PC were. We didn't get a chance to see any of the kind of open world stuff. It was very much this was a mission. They drop you in, sort of like go through this facility, get this thing that you're supposed to do, and there's an objective in there. Meanwhile, there's all these enemies trying to stop you from doing that. But man, it sure plays well. I really, if the driving and the rest of the game that's set around that shooting and whatnot is as good as that, I think that could be a really good game. It did kind of remind me a little bit of Borderlands. You know that? It had a little bit of, there's definitely a little bit of that Borderlands.
Not that post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, kind of ridiculousness. Enemy. Yeah. But yeah, I think it'll be...
I'm really excited to play more because I want to see the open world aspects.
Yeah, exactly.
The vehicle combat.
And the customization.
And obviously there's more power-ups, like more abilities. I don't think they have all the abilities
right
that are available in that demo.
Yeah, I am curious obviously it's early and they're going to do a ton of optimizing and stuff like that. I am curious what that game was running on though, because it definitely
was PC,
was getting some slowdowns and stuff. But again, that's definitely. But again, I don't know what specs were, and I also don't,
I did not notice that at E3, but those are like tiny little towers. They didn't look like they were the biggest towers, so maybe they're only like 1060s or 1070s in there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because they were quite compact.
Yeah.
And then to end the day, we played some Elder Scrolls Blades, which is the mobile
we were playing Elder Scrolls on iPhone 10, right?
They were iPhone 10s. It's free to play. It's coming later this year. She's one of the devs that was there saying like in a couple months they're hoping on iOS and Android. They demoed it on iPhone 10, but she was saying that it's probably going to be running on like 6S and newer. She said don't quote me on it because that's still a moving goalpost.
Right, yeah, for sure.
And they're aiming like for Galaxy 5 and higher, they were saying. So I guess equivalent.
Right.
The chipset in that phone, if your phone has that chipset, you're probably alright. But clearly they were demoing on a 10 for best performance.
Oh, totally.
It is
it works surprisingly well.
It's a full story campaign game. They haven't figured out the monetization yet. Well, they know the monetization. They just haven't announced it because it's coming out in a couple months. You know what your monetization scheme is.
Yeah,
but you've got you build a town. aspects. So there's like, I guess, city sim management aspect of the game. There's a PvP aspect of the game.
Is that the castle stuff?
Yeah.
Or, yeah, you guys see a little bit of that?
No. That was just a castle dungeon I was in.
Oh, okay.
So there's like tons of dungeons. Enemies you fight with basically, you've got spells, you've got your block, and then you can swipe your attacks, but you don't swipe, you hold your hand on the screen for a second, your swing charges, and then you release an attack.
Right.
There's little combos if you like tap on the sides of the screens and switch back and forth.
Yeah.
The game can be played in portrait mode, which is kind of neat. And they called it office mode or like conference meeting mode because you could sit there playing it with one hand.
And it would kind of almost look like you weren't playing a game. It would make you look like you were
doing some stuff on the phone.
Yeah.
I thought it was really pretty for a phone game. I invite anyone making the effort to try to make real games on mobile as opposed to mobile games because mobile games are crap.
Yeah, they generally suck. Even when I get addicted to them, they're usually shitty games.
Yeah, you can pre-register for it when it comes out.
I was surprised. Like, I was surprised by that. Like, I really was. Like, it looks very pretty. I will give it that. I feel like it would just destroy your battery.
She was talking about playing for about 3 hours. It would take on the iPhone 10, which she was saying is very good with battery optimization, 25%.
I have a hard time believing that.
That's just what she said.
Because, like, those phones were hot. And, I mean, obviously they were sitting there running the game for hours and hours and hours on end, but... And while they're plugged in, but man, I would be amazed if that was the case.
Yeah.
Like, amazed. But definitely more... I was totally not interested in that game whatsoever when I first saw it.
I thought it looked cool at the E3 announcement.
And now that I've kind of had a chance to get my hands on it a little bit, I'll probably download it when it comes out and at least just check it out and see what it sort of looks like a little more. Because it is, tap to move to an area. Like, it does feel a lot more like an actual game and not just some mobile swipe,
yeah,
move, swipe, like, so yeah. And that's more or less
day 1 and 2.
There you go.
We got
all the hot takes.
We got a bunch of appointments tomorrow still, plus unannounced or unplanned stuff. I'm sure we'll pick
come
up
across,
on random games we play here and there.
Definitely.
We're checking out Darksiders 3, Biomutant. We're going to check Namco's MMO game, that Bless Unleashed or
Bless
whatever.
Unleashed, yeah. We're also going to be seeing Dauntless, which was another kind of big MMO as far as I am aware. So there's some interesting stuff we're still going to see tomorrow. And possibly Monday.
I'll probably hunt down some stuff. We haven't spent any time in the Nintendo booth. We should do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it, my friends. That's our episode 171, PAXtravaganza Part 1. We'll probably have another one that we'll record maybe tomorrow. Or maybe even Monday on the way back in the car again. Yeah,
maybe you'll get part 2 of the CarCast.
The road show.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. You can follow me on Twitter at RickF, no K, RICF.
You can always come hang out with me on Twitter at Dane Cody, at DAYNECODY.
Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, and whatever. All that good stuff on the social medias. I'm starting to fade here if it isn't obvious. We're Geekoholics everywhere. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Come hang out.
And
it's
then,
fun.
Don't forget to join our Discord. That's obviously, in my opinion, the best way to get noticed. If you have a question or a comment for us.
We do have a Discord channel.
We have a Discord.
You can ask some questions.
Yes, Brian, I know you have some questions in Discord. We'll probably talk about them on our next show. I couldn't pull them. Our next proper show. I couldn't pull them down when we were driving down. But yeah, we have a Discord channel, which is basically, I called it the CQC channel, which is our comments. What was it? Comments, questions, and corrections?
Comments, questions, corrections.
Yeah, so you can leave anything there, and we'll get to it eventually on a future show.
Yep.
And of course, our Discord is fun too, because if you post something there, it bleeps up on our phone. and we can instantly respond.
We will see it.
It's probably one of the best ways to direct lines to us.
For sure.
And of course, if you have an Apple device, please feel free to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts app or iTunes. And of course, share with your friends, anyone else on any other platforms. And we're found everywhere that fine podcasts are available. So we ain't hard to find.
No.
And or always Geekoholics.com. That's actually probably the easiest way. If you were telling someone about us, Geekoholics.com has all the links to all the different podcast services around the globe.
Woot.
Yeah, with that, I say we're out.
See you tomorrow.
Peace.